Hello, my friends. Welcome to the Commander's Crypt. I've got an awesome video for you today. Today, we've got Najeela the Blade Blossom. She's awesome. Rhymes with blossom. She is a legendary creature, human warrior, 3/2. I mean, she's already a 3/2 for 3. But wait, there's more. Whenever a warrior attacks, you may have its controller create a 1/1 white warrior creature token that's tapped and attacking. Ooh, that's pretty good. But wait, there's more. Werborg. This chick is so super push, it's hilarious to me. Werborg, untap all attacking creatures. They gain trample, lifelink, and haste until end of turn. Why not just give them flying too? But wait, there's more. After this phase, there's an additional combat phase. Activate this ability only during combat. Gee. Najeela is a very strong deck, obviously. I mean, look at the commander. But the cool thing about her is she's relatively cheap and relatively easy to put together. So, and she's very high tier. So if you want to play Commander at a more competitive level, you can put a Najeela the Blade Blossom deck together, and it won't cost you it won't break the bank so much, and you are highly competitive. Next, we have got some sexy warrior tokens because you're going to be making a lot of them. Kind of reminds me of Lucy Lawless, my girlfriend. Yeah, we've been kicking it lately. I had to show her some martial arts and wrestling moves. But anyway, next we have got a talisman. We're going to have a lot of talismans for mana fixing. Then we've got a sexy Phyrexian soul ring there. So these are going to be the mana rocks. Going to need a lot of talismans for the Werborg fixing. And another point too is these do a point of damage, but with all the lifelink that you got going on, you're not going to have to worry about any of that stuff. Same thing with the Mana Vault. Mana Vault's always been one of my favorite cards. It's the colorless dark ritual in my humble opinion. Next, we got Expedition Map for mana fixing, land fixing, and ramp. Arcane Signet, one of the best mana rocks to come out of Wizards of the Coast for a long time. More talismans. Mana Crypt for fast mana. Jeweled Lotus, look at that sexy card right there. You know, with this, obviously, you put this out first turn, and Najeela comes out first turn. And now you're just going crazy all over the field. You're going buck wild. Chromatic Lantern, very good card in this deck. It allows you to fix your lands. You're able to get any color out of any land. Skull Clamp. With all the warriors you've got going on now, what I'm going to show you is the way this deck wins is it does infinite combat loops. And here very shortly I'll show you how it does that. But if that plan does not work, you know, this deck can win second, third turn. If that plan does not work, then now you can use the Skull Clamp to draw for cards, draw for answers. If you're in a stalemate, next to Swiftfoot Boots to protect Najeela. Phyrexian Altar, with all the warriors you're making, you can use them as a resource for mana. Lightning Greaves, you got to protect Najeela. Sword of Feast and Famine. So this is the one of the many ways that you get infinite combat steps with this deck. This deck reminds me of my Chishiro deck with Godo and Helm of the Host, Sword of Feast and Famine, and all these other cards I'm about to show you. This deck does what red does, infinite combat loops. So Sword of Feast and Famine, what that does, it gives you black and green, so that protects you from beasts within and black, all the death magic. Then when it deals combat damage to a player, that player discards a card, and you untap all your lands you control, and then there's your loop. Same thing with Bear Umbra, protects Najeela and runs your infinite combat loop. Nature's Will, same thing, super crazy strong card. This doesn't only untap yours, but it taps your creatures as well when one of your guys gets in. And one of your guys will get in. I love this card too. It reminds me of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. When somebody gets in, and they will, you're making so many of them, then you are tapping people out and untapping. Next, we got the tutors, so you can get these pieces, these combo pieces. And that's the thing with this deck, with Warborg, you can do the best, whatever is best, that creature, let me try that again. Every color's best abilities, black, with the tutors, you can tutor for your pieces. So you've got access to black, you've got access to white for the best tutor that white has, Diabolic Intent. You sack one of your dummies and go get a card. Demonic Tutor, Iconic, Demonic, Iconic, Autumn's Veil. So now we're going to get into the disruption and the ways that you protect Najeela. I can't talk today for some reason. It must be all the Christmas cheer. Autumn's Veil. Spells you control can't be countered by blue or black spells this turn. Creatures you control can't be the target of blue or black spells this turn. Very strong. Somebody goes to kill something, bounce something. You can play this or counter one of their spells. Very, very strong. Veil of Summer. This deck uses the green counter spells and then the blue counter spells, which I'll show you later. Heroic Intervention to protect your team. This and Boros Signet. Somebody goes to board wipe and you drop that, and you pretty much are in the catbird seat. You are in the position to win. Mental Misstep. Okay, now we get into the blue counterspell disruptions. One of the best cards. It counters swords to plowshares, soul rings, all that kind of stuff. Very, very, very strong, good card. Swan Song, same thing. And next we have got Cyclonic Rift. One of the, if not the strongest cards in Magic. One-sided board wipe at instant speed. It's really not that expensive per se. Fierce Guardianship. Once Najeela is out, she is protected. Negate. Counter the counters or counter the stuff that's trying to kill Najeela. Pyroblast. Counter blue spells. Cleansing Nova. Choose a mode. Destroy all creatures. Destroy all artifacts and enchantments. Path to Exile. This is all your interruption. Swords to plowshares. Vandal Blast. Kills opponents with heavy artifacts. Rhythm of the Wild. Creature spells you control cannot be countered. That's super strong. And then your non-token creatures have Riot. They're going to be 2/2s. Rhystic Study. Another best thing that blue does is draw cards. Boros Charm. I talked about this earlier. Somebody goes to board wipe and you drop that and they are now in big trouble. Farseek. Got some random ramp in there. Then we got Impact Tremors. Impact Tremors is very good in this deck because once you start infinite combat looping or looping a lot, you now can kill everybody with the Impact Tremors. Prismatic Omen. Lands control are every basic land type for the Warborg. Smothering Tithe. Once the treasure token thing started happening in Magic, it really warped the landscape. Druid's Repository. Very strong card. Mana Fixing. Cryptolath. Right. Same thing. Mana Fixing. Bird of Paradise. Bop. Bop. Dappa doo wop. Now you get into your creatures. And your creatures are pretty awesome in this deck. This one's kind of a random card. Thrasher Brute, what he does is when another warrior enters the battlefield under your control, target opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. So you start gaining life and your opponents start losing life. Perforos, God of the Forge, as all these warriors are coming in, you are zapping people. Mindblade Render, you draw a card and lose 1 life whenever your opponents are dealt combat damage to a warrior. Rushblade Commander, warriors your team controls have haste, gives your team haste. Noble Hierarch, what she does is she does mana fixing for you. Dryad of the Elysian Grove. Lands you control are every basic land type addition to the other types, allows you to fix. Thassa's Oracle, I'm not a big fan of this card, but there it is. Dockside Extortionist, one of the best cards in Magic. Grand Abolisher, keeps people from countering your stuff. Demonic Consultation, allows you to dig for stuff. Derevery, Imperial Tactician, what that does is it allows your warriors to tap all your opponents' permanents. Questing Beast, it's a way for green to kill planeswalkers. Bloom Tender, very super strong. Miri, Combat Tricks. Brave the Sands, creatures you control have vigilance. Each creature you control can block an additional creature. And then we've got the Cavern of Souls to help keep it Najeela from being countered. I hope you liked my quick video. Please like, share, and subscribe.